Sometimes the most memorable places are the ones we never planned to visit. After everything that happened at Ladubaba Temple, we began our journey back with very little expectation. The excitement we had carried in the morning was gone. We were tired, disappointed, and honestly, none of us wanted to explore another place that day. We had already decided that we would simply return home. But while passing through Nayagarh, something unexpected caught our attention. On the roadside, we noticed a beautiful temple entrance. There was something peaceful about the place even from a distance. We did not know much about the temple. We had not planned to come here. There was no initiatory, no research, and no expectation. We simply looked at each other and decided, let's go inside. Perhaps something a journey has its own plans for us. As we entered through the gate, the atmosphere slowly began to change. It was a large temple dedicated to Lord Jagannath. The surroundings were spacious, quiet, and remarkably peaceful. The noise of the road seems to disappear behind us. After the experience we had just gone through, our minds were still a little disturbed. There was a frustration somewhere inside us. But the moment we stepped into the temple premises, that feeling started becoming lighter. We went straight for darshan. There was something deeply calming about standing before Lord Jagannath after such a disappointing experience. We did not come here with any expectation. We did not looking for anything special. We simply stood there and prayed. And sometimes that is enough. After the puja and darshan, one of the priests told us to stay for a while because prasad would be served. So instead of leaving immediately, we decided to sit and explore the temple. And that small decision changed the entire mood of our day. We began talking to people around us. An old woman sitting nearby started telling us stories about the temple and the place. Her words were simple, but there was something beautiful about listening to someone who had spent years carrying memories of a place like this. After some time, our entire family moved towards another corner of the temple. And then something happened that for me became the most beautiful part of the entire journey. For almost an hour, none of us cared about our phones. No scrolling, no calls, no photographs, no social media. Just family. We sat together, talked about old memories, laughed at small things, said stories. The little ones were having their own kind of happiness. My nephews were running and playing around the long veranda of the Lord Jagannath temple. Their faces were full of happiness. They were not thinking about the journey. They were not thinking about what had happened earlier. They were simply enjoying the moment. Watching them playing reminded me of something very simple. Children know how to live in the present. For them, that long temple veranda was enough to create a memory. Then, after waiting for some time, the prasad finally arrived. A huge plate filled with different preparations was placed before us. I honestly do not know the exact names of all those dishes. There were so many different curries and preparations that I could hardly identify each one. But every item tasted wonderful. But every item tasted wonderful. There was something special about that. Maybe it was the way it was prepared. Maybe it was the simplicity. Or maybe it was the feeling with which we were eating it. Perhaps this is what people mean when they talk about the divine taste of Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad. Whatever the reason was, every bite felt special. And by then, the disappointment that we had carried from Ladubaba Temple had almost completely disappeared. We had entered this temple without any expectation, and we were leaving with something much more valuable: peace, devotion, family, and memories. One bad experience should never make us judge an entire place. Every place has its own character. Every community has different people. Every temple has its own atmosphere. And every person we met carries a different heart and a different story. A disappointing experience in one place does not define an entire district, an entire state, or an entire country. People are different, places are different. And sometimes, when we are disappointed by one experience, life quietly takes us somewhere else.